A government research institution just analyzed 166 million data points from 1,730 K-pop idols. And from all of those names, all those faces, all those achievements, all the momentum currently running through the K-pop industry, they released 3 words to describe one person: intense, explosive, gorgeous. Not fans who said that, not entertainment media who said that, not a streaming platform counting numbers. This is an official statement from the director of the Korea Corporate Reputation Research Institute, the most influential analytics body in the Korean entertainment industry, released on May 20th, 2026. And the name of that person? Park Jimin. But here is what most people haven't fully registered yet. Behind those 3 words, there is a story far bigger than just a brand survey. There is a journey. There is a very real pressure. And there is a moment that makes this achievement feel unlike any ordinary victory. Stay until the very end, because the full context behind these numbers will fundamentally change the way you see what Jimin has accomplished. Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. We don't just read headlines here, we read what's behind them, the context, the meaning, and the things other people rarely talk about. If you are the kind of ARMY who wants to truly understand Jimin's journey rather than just celebrate it, you are in the right place. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get straight into this. May 20th, 2026. The Korea Corporate Reputation Research Institute, known as KCRI, released their May results for K-pop idol brand reputation analysis. This is not a casual fan poll. This is a highly methodological big data analysis covering 166,539,641 data points from 1,730 K-pop idols across the entire K-pop industry, processed over a 30-day period running from April 20th to May 20th, 2026. The methodology covers 4 core indices: Participation Index, Media Index, Communication Index, and Community Index. All data is automatically pulled from multiple sources: news articles, social media posts, online community discussions, and other forms of digital activity involving an idol's name. And at the top of it all, one name: BTS Jimin. Jimin's brand reputation index for May 2026 came in at 8,298,417, far above second place Jongwon Young of IVE, who scored 7,186,672, and third place went to his fellow BTS member Jungkook with 7,153,623. Director Koo Chang-won then released an official statement that immediately spread across every platform. In that statement, he said, "In the May 2026 Idol Personal Brand Reputation Rankings, the BTS Jimin brand secured first place. The BTS Jimin brand showed high scores in link analysis for intense, explosive, and gorgeous. Keyword analysis identified ARMY, black leather, and blonde hair as prominent." Those 3 words, intense, explosive, gorgeous, are the words that the algorithm determined were most frequently associated with Jimin's name by the public during the measurement period. Not words chosen subjectively, not editorial opinion. This is a reflection of what millions of people around the world actually used when talking about Jimin on the internet. Now, let's talk about what made this announcement go viral within hours. When director Koo Chang-won's statement was distributed, first across Korean news platforms, then spreading simultaneously to X, Instagram, and TikTok, the reaction that followed was not just ordinary ARMY celebration. What happened was something more complex and more emotionally layered than that, because this statement came out at a very specific moment, right in the middle of the Stanford concert run, right after weeks in which Jimin had faced a series of controversies that were anything but small, from manipulated video clips attacking his vocal ability to unjust screen time distribution at the Mexico City concerts, to official photos that excluded him from major media coverage at historic moments. In that context, an official statement from a credible analytics institution declaring Jimin's brand the most powerful in the entire K-pop industry felt like an answer. Not an emotional answer, not an angry answer, but an answer that arrived in the form of data. Cold, methodological, and impossible to dispute. Fans responded in enormous varieties of ways. On X, hashtags related to Jimin and brand reputation began trending within minutes. On TikTok, content overlaying Jimin's Stanford concert moments with the three words, intense, explosive, gorgeous, exploded with millions of views. On Instagram, fans created elegant graphics pairing photos of Jimin in his black leather outfit with his long blonde hair alongside the number 8,298,417 printed in bold. But there is one small detail buried in the middle of all that celebration that almost nobody noticed. But wait, because this is not the first time Jimin has reached #1 in this survey. This is month 57. 57 months. For more than 4.5 years, Jimin has held the #1 position in the individual boy group brand reputation survey in Korea, a record that nobody in the entire history of this survey has ever come close to matching. And even more staggering, for 35 consecutive months out of that total of 57, not a single month where his position slipped. Try to sit with that for a moment. 35 months in a row. That is nearly 3 years without a single gap, without a single month where anyone else surpassed his name in this survey. For a significant portion of that period, Jimin was in the middle of mandatory military service. No new content, no new performances, no active promotions, just the name and the legacy he had built before entering, and that alone was enough to hold the top position for months on end. And now, in May 2026, in the month where Jimin is performing at Stanford Stadium with long blonde hair in a black leather outfit that dominated global timelines, in the month where controversies and achievements are arriving in alternating waves at a pace that is almost overwhelming, the numbers sit above everyone else. And the part that almost nobody is talking about specifically is this. The three words chosen by the algorithm to describe Jimin this month, intense, explosive, gorgeous, are not the kind of words you typically hear in the context of K-pop brand reputation. Usually, the words that emerge from surveys like this are things like popular, talented, or beloved, safe words, flat words, words that could apply to almost any idol who has reached a certain level of success. Intense, explosive, gorgeous. These are not words that simply describe popularity. These are words that describe a presence, an energy, a force that people feel even from thousands of kilometers away, even through a phone screen, even by people who have never listened to a single BTS song before.
Now let's go to the deeper analysis. And this is the part that I think is most rarely discussed when people talk about Jimin's brand reputation achievement. The word intense emerged as the highest scoring word in the link analysis. That means when people talk about Jimin, when they write about him, when they create content about him, the word that most organically appears alongside his name is a word about intensity. Not a coincidence, because if you look at Jimin's journey as an artist from his debut in 2013 through to 2026, there is one thread that has never broken. He has never done anything halfway. In the Rolling Stone interview from April 2026, when asked about his ambitions, Jimin said that what he wants is to improve his singing, to write better songs, and to make a better album. No talk about achieving greater fame, no talk about which records he wants to break, just about becoming better at his craft. That is intensity in its purest form. Not the kind of intensity that is loud and dramatic, but the kind that is quiet, consistent, and never extinguished even when the world around him doesn't always provide equal space. And the word explosive, this is the interesting one. In the context of brand reputation, explosive doesn't only mean a popularity that suddenly bursts. It refers to the quality of a brand that every time it appears in public conversation immediately creates a wave that cannot be ignored. Jimin is an artist whose presence, even in the smallest incident, even in a change of hairstyle, even in one small gesture on a stage, always creates a globally scaled conversation. His blonde hair at Stanford became international headlines. The hat he gave to a crying young fan in Mexico City was wept over by thousands of people around the world. 2 words he spoke in Spanish on stage triggered 12 trending hashtags simultaneously. That is explosive in its most accurate meaning. Not because Jimin seeks attention, but because what he does always lands with a weight far larger than the size of the moment itself. And gorgeous, which might sound like the simplest of the 3, is actually the most complex to analyze. Because in the context of this survey, gorgeous is not only about physical appearance. The keywords accompanying this finding were black leather and blonde hair, 2 visual elements from the Stanford concert that went viral globally. But gorgeous as a brand perception is about something beyond aesthetics. It is about how someone presents themselves to the world in a way that makes people unable to look away. And that is something you cannot buy, cannot learn from any textbook or strategy guide. It is a quality you either have or you don't. And data from 166 million analytical data points says Jimin has it. This is where we arrive at the most emotionally powerful part of this entire story. Imagine you are someone who has just been through several very heavy weeks. A video of your performance has been manipulated and spread to attack your ability. Your screen time has been unfairly cut on the Jumbotron in massive concerts. Your photo has been removed from media coverage at a historic announcement moment. Your request to present yourself in a way you chose for yourself was opposed by the company that manages you. And in the middle of all of that, you walk onto the stage at Stanford Stadium in front of 50,000 people, and you perform. With the long blonde hair you held onto, even though everyone told you to cut it. With the black leather outfit you wore with complete conviction. With your own voice, the same voice that had been the subject of coordinated online attacks, you sing the song you wrote yourself in front of a sea of people who know every word. And then, a few days after that night, a research institution that analyzed 166 million data points tells the world the most powerful brand in the entire K-pop industry right now is Park Jimin. And the words the world most frequently uses to describe him are intense, explosive, gorgeous. Not despite everything that happened, precisely because of everything that happened. Because that is the most undeniable truth in this entire story. The pressure did not remove Jimin from the world's conversation. The pressure made it impossible for the world to stop talking about him. And the algorithm, which does not take sides, which does not care about drama or controversy, which only counts how many people cannot stop saying your name, proved it with numbers that cannot be argued with. That is why Suga, all those years ago, before the debut, before Billboard, before Stanford, before any of this, looked at a young trainee from Busan and said, "You can become a singer with a unique voice if you find your own color and tone." Jimin found it, the world confirmed it, and 166 million data points recorded it permanently. Now it's your turn. Of the 3 words, intense, explosive, gorgeous, which one do you think most accurately described Jimin? And is there one more word that you feel should be on that list, something that has never quite been said loudly enough? Write it in the comments. I read every single one, and conversations like this are genuinely the best part of making this content. If this video gave you a new perspective on what brand reputation actually means and why Jimin's achievement is far more significant than just a number, share it with a fellow ARMY, because this story deserves to be understood, not just celebrated. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is what we always try to bring you here, something more than just the news. Until the next one, take care of yourselves, and as always, purple you.